Hey guys, Next here. I was originally going to film this outside because it's a super nice day, but it's also a very windy day, so kind of blew up the audio. So here we go, my living room. My journey started in December of 2013, or kind of into January 2014. So it's been just around maybe a couple years since then. When I started, I think I weighed my highest amount of weight when I was around 255 pounds, 260, whatever weight fluctuates, right? Now, I wasn't a kid who was just like fat and brought up in a house with junk food and didn't go outside, just played video games and ate like garbage. That wasn't me. I was still a fairly active kid. Like, I went out and I did things. I was biking every day. I loved competitive sports. I actually grew up in a pretty strict household. When it came to actually playing video games and being on screens, my dad always wanted us to be outside. That's how he was raised. He wanted us to always be outside. So, like me and my brother, we would go out and we would just go outside and play. As time went on, near the end of elementary school, I started to notice that I was bigger than other kids. Like, I had fat on me, whereas other kids were still looking thin. And I wondered, I didn't understand. I didn't get why, as time went on, I was even bigger than them. And this especially kicked in junior high. When people start to build identities of themselves, that's when I started to notice that I was just bigger. I put on weight easier. I never got it. I never understood why. I just knew that I was different. I was never taught that I was different. I was taught to love myself no matter what. That's not how you go about doing it. There's kids out here who don't understand why. I remember not feeling like I could fit in with anyone. I just always kind of felt different. I would look down at my belly and just wish, man, I wish I could just take a butcher's knife and just chop it off so I could look lean and thin like everyone else. Now, there is something that I learned, a term that I learned about while I was in kinesiology, which kind of explains the weight that I put on. Because it wasn't drastic, it wasn't from stress, it was something called creeping weight. Creeping weight's, it's something that I'm going to cover in another video because it's a lot of information on its own. It's very helpful to everyone. But basically it comes from a lifestyle that's not healthy but not bad either. It's when you just make poor choices repetitively that aren't drastic, but over time, as time goes on, you start to put on a few pounds. And this year you put on 10 pounds. Next year you put on another 10 pounds. And I noticed this as I was getting older, that more, every year I was weighing more. Since grade 5 this was happening. And I didn't grow up in a house with parents that were bad influences. My dad had a fast metabolism. That's the one thing I didn't get, because that guy ate like a machine and it never touched him. He was always looking jacked, but it was because of his job. I didn't realize that he was burning off calories like crazy. So he could eat cookies and chips every day and look okay, because he was working it off. But that's not what I thought. I wanted to eat like my dad. My dad was a man, I wanted to be a man, so I had to eat like my dad. Oh man. So I'd come home from school and I was always hungry when I came home from school, so I would eat. I would snack until supper. Sometimes I'd kill my appetite for supper. And it wasn't like healthy snacking either. It was like the cookies and chocolate pudding and chips. Some days I'd come home from school, eat a whole bag of chips. And that was kind of my lifestyle. I was still active, I went out every day, but I wasn't active enough to compensate for the amount of snacks that I was eating. I was active, but I wasn't athletic. Everyone else in my family was athletic, and I never liked that. I had other hobbies like guitar and art, and making videos for my other YouTube account. I never found my passion for fitness at all growing up. So I just kind of assumed, it's genetics. It's gonna happen. Hopefully I reach a point where I stop getting bigger. So in grade 11, I started playing football. This was a life-changing thing for me because it gave me confidence. One thing that happened is I realized that I'm not alone anymore. I'm surrounded. I was a defensive lineman because I was chubby and I was tall. I didn't have enough weight on me to be an O-lineman. I was still agile, so they put me on D-line. And I was surrounded by people with the same body type as me. And I felt accepted for once. And this was something that changed my life because it gave me confidence and it taught me my body is the way it is for a reason and there are uses for it. And you don't find that when you're just in junior high or high school and you're in friend circles. That's not something you find. You have to find out what your purpose is yourself. But anyway, so I was active. I started to lean out a little bit, put on some muscle from football. But as soon as the season ended, it was right back in the gutter. So I was lean during the season, and then after the season, I was not lean anymore. I didn't train during the off season. I always did kind of lift weights here and there as I grew up, but it wasn't enough to really do anything. So I reached my highest amount of weight after football. After high school, I received a wrist injury that required surgery, and I had to wait around a year before my surgery got looked after. And then I had to wear a cast. And when you have a bad wrist, you can't lift weights. You can't do nothing. And when it's a tendon ligament issue, you can't work through it. It needs to be medically taken care of. And then I had a cast. And I just thought, what am I gonna do? This is what I looked like when I determined I was at my worst. When it hit me all at once that, man, Zach, you look like a fat guy. Like you're not just bigger than other people, you're a fat guy. I remember it legitimately changed my life. I got so motivated.